Hello everyone, my name is Rachel. Welcome back to my channel. Today I am bringing you guys a very casual June TBR, or my June reading plan. So for this coming month, I've decided to put less pressure on myself and let myself mood read a bit more, because this past month in May, that's really most of what I've been doing, is just reading whatever book I want to at the time instead of really sticking to a TBR. And so I do have a list of some books that I definitely want to get to in June, but not nearly as many as I usually do in these monthly TBRs. So I hope that makes sense. And then I also have some secret TBR videos that I want to do during the month of June, so I'll briefly talk about all of that as well. So without further ado, let's get into it. First of all, I want to talk about a readathon that is happening in June. There is the Mafia Romance Weekend Readathon that is being hosted by Jenn from the book Refuge, and there's a few other co-hosts. I know Jess is one, Tori is another co-host, maybe Jessen. I can't quite remember all of the co-hosts because I think there's quite a few, so I'll list all of the hosts down below, but I know that this is Jenn's project for sure, because she's been really into some Mafia romances, and so I thought that this readathon would be the perfect time for me to try out this subgenre, see if I like it, because Mafia romances are definitely dark romances, and while there are some darker romances that I do love and really enjoy, sometimes they tend to be a little too dark for me, and the themes and types of events that happen in Mafia romances can be pretty dark and gritty. So I'm not really sure if this is the subgenre for me, but I'm definitely gonna vlog my experience trying out different authors and books and series. Like I said, that's a weekend reading vlog, but during that specific weekend that it's happening, which is June 4th through the 6th, I'm gonna be pretty busy with some work things, so I might expand the readathon for myself by a few days just to give myself more time to read more of these Mafia romances. But I'm really excited. I have some authors in mind that I want to try out, but I haven't really solidified anything in terms of books that I definitely want to get to or anything like that. But needless to say, I'm very much looking forward to participating in this readathon. So then let's get into the actual books that I have on this TBR. This one's kind of random, but I really want to read One Hot Italian Summer by Karina Halley. I've just been dying to read more from her in general, and I've heard nothing but phenomenal things about this one, and it's a book about the Italian summer, so like this is the perfect time to read it, right? But all I know is that this is a single parent romance, and it features a main character who is an author, and I believe she was co-writing for a very long time with another author, but that person passed away, and now she's trying to figure out how to write on her own, and so she decides to spend the summer in Italy to get some inspiration. And the hero is a single father, and it just sounds absolutely perfect for me, so can't wait to read this one. Then just like last month, I did do some spins on my TBR prompt spinner wheel. I do that off camera because I want to be able to really think about what books I want to read for the prompts that come up, essentially. So the first one that came up was a Black author. So for that one, I decided to go with Eloquent Rage by Brittany Cooper. This is a nonfiction book that I've been meaning to get to for a really long time. It says a Black feminist discovers her superpower. It says, so what if it's true that Black women are mad as hell? They have the right to be. In the Black feminist tradition of Audre Lorde, Brittany Cooper reminds us that anger is a powerful source of energy that can give us the strength to keep on fighting. This sounds absolutely fantastic. I've heard nothing but amazing things about this one, and a goal for me recently has been to read at least one nonfiction book per month. So this is going to be my nonfiction for June. Next, we have a book that was featured in the 21 books I want to read in 2021 video. I will link that up in the cards above. But for that one, I decided to go with Nevermore, The Trials of Morgan Crow by Jessica Townsend. This is book 1 in a series that at the moment has 3 books, but I'm sure she's planning on writing more. It is a middle grade fantasy series, and this book has been on my shelves at least 2 years. I'm pretty sure I bought this in maybe 2018, so why haven't I read it? I don't know, because literally everyone I follow that has read this has given it 5 stars. What is wrong with me? I think it's just because I'm not the most attracted to reading middle grade novels, but most middle grade books that I read I love. So like, again, what is wrong with me? Also, every time I feature this book on camera, I feel the need to show the naked hardback because, are you kidding me? absolutely stunning. Next prompt I got is a fantasy novel, and for that I'm going with The Dragon Republic by R.F. Kuang. This is book 2 in the Poppy War trilogy. I am currently in the middle of reading the Poppy War. I'm just about like 100 pages out from the end, and I'm really enjoying it. It just feels very unique and so well written, and it's crazy to me that R.F. Kuang wrote at least that first book when she was like 19. Are you kidding me? But yeah, this is book 2 in the series. It looks quite a bit chunkier than the first book. I'm gonna get more into what the series is about in my end of May wrap up, but according to the blurb on the inside, this perfectly describes it. An epic fantasy combining the history of 20th century China with a gripping world of gods and monsters. That's all you need to know. It's really, really great so far, so looking forward to reading this second book in June. Next prompt I got on my spinner wheel is an Indigenous author, and so for that one I decided to go with My Heart is a Chainsaw by Stephen Graham Jones. Now this is an e-arc that I got approved of off of NetGalley like a week or 2 ago. I did not expect to get approved for this because Stephen Graham Jones is a very popular horror author, and yeah, I did not expect to get this one, and I was just so pumped when I got the email. But this one sounds really interesting. By the way, Stephen Graham Jones is the author of The Only Good Indians, which is a book that I read last year and absolutely adored. But let's see. Jade Daniels is an angry half-Indian outcast with an abusive father, an absent mother, and an entire town that wants nothing to do with her. She lives in her own world, a world in which protection comes from an unusual source, horror movies, especially the ones where a mass killer seeks revenge on a world that wronged them. And Jade narrates the quirky history of Proof Rock as if it is one of those movies. But when blood actually starts to spill into the waters of Indian Lake, she pulls us into her dizzying encyclopedic mind of blood and mass murderers and predicts exactly how the plot will unfold. Does that not sound absolutely incredible? Need I say more? My goodness. The next prompt that I got on my spinner wheel is an Asian author, so I decided to go with Visions of Heat by Nalini Singh. This is book 2 in her Psy Changeling series, which is a pretty long and epic paranormal romance series. I read book 1, Slave to Sensation, a few weeks back. Really, really enjoyed it. This is just such an intriguing world. We have 2 different kinds of humans, essentially. We have the Psy, which are humans with psychic abilities, and then we have the Changelings, which are animal shifting humans. And yeah, I just can't wait to read more into this series. I've heard that the books get better and better as we go along. Then the last prompt that I got off of my spinner wheel is a fantasy romance, and so for that one I decided to go with The Crown of Gilded Bones by Jennifer L. Armentrout. This is book 3 in her From Blood and Ash series. I'm sure this is a series you've all heard about because this has definitely become a booktube darling at this point. I am not the most excited going into this book because while I really loved book 1 From Blood and Ash, the second book, A Kingdom of Flesh and Fire, was not my favorite, and I have not heard the best things about this third book. We will just have to see. I'm intrigued to see what happens next, but like I said, I haven't heard the best things about this installment. And then in terms of a couple of video ideas that I have for some reading vlogs that I want to do, I am dying to read more Jessica Cain novellas. Oh my goodness. So I read Breaking the Bully by her, I want to say in like the end of April, and I adored that novella so much. Like, this is how you write a bully romance. I do not love that trope, but this may have changed my mind about it because it was just so good. So much groveling, just an absolutely amazing novella. And so I'm really intrigued to read more from her, especially because I finally caved and got myself a Kindle Unlimited subscription, and all of Jessica Cain's novellas are on there, so I can just read as many of them as I want. So I might do a reading vlog where I just like binge a ton of them. Another video idea I have is to read some of my favorite books from childhood, actually. This is an idea that I've had for well over a year, and for some reason I just haven't gotten to it until now. There's a few books that I want to get to for that, namely Gossip Girl and the Click series. I was really into that in middle school. What else? The Sisterhood of Traveling Pants. I was also really into that in middle school. So these are going to be more of like elementary school, middle school faves for sure. But I'm really excited to read and film that vlog for sure. And then the last reading vlog that I want to do in June is going to be similar to the one that I did where I read some of Bree's absolute favorite romances. She's from the channel In Love and Words. I'm going to link that vlog up at the cards above. I had such a fun time filming that vlog and reading some of Bree's absolute favorite romances. But this time I decided to go with Riley from Riley Marie. She is definitely one of my favorite booktubers ever, and she's got like 50,000 subscribers. She's very popular, probably the most popular romance booktuber, although she doesn't only read romance, but she's like me where she mostly reads romance. And she recently came out with a video where she talked about her top 10 favorite romances of all time. And what I realized while watching that video is that I've read 5 of the books on her list, loved all 5 of them, but the other 5 I have yet to read. And so I thought I would do a reading vlog reading the other 5 books that I haven't gotten to yet. So I think that'll be a really fun time as well. Also, I quickly wanted to mention that there are a few books on my May TBR that I don't think I'm gonna get to, unfortunately, by the end of the month, which is in a week. And that is the books right behind me. So I have The Bride Test by Helen Huang, The Night Tiger by Young Jae Chu, and then The Smythe Smith Quartet by Julia Quinn. So if I don't get to those books by the end of the month, I'll definitely just tack them onto my June TBR. And so with that being said, that's going to be it for this casual TBR video. I hope that you enjoyed. I would love it if you would leave a comment down below telling me about some of the books that you are excited to get to in the month of June. I would love it if you would leave a like and subscribe, and I thank you in advance if you do. And with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!